Hey guys, today we will see how to configure the Web API in PowerAppPortal, and we will see one simple demo with that. So this site explain the guidance how to use the Web API in the PowerAppPortal. So here one sample of the create operation. The URI how it can be framed is explained here. So we can have the portal URI, then API, then accounts like that if you want to create the record of the account. So we will be using the code snippet provided in this site. So here we have the wrapper Ajax function. We will be using this code in we'll get the web file using this code, and under that we'll have the safe ajax object. Here we will be calling the post operation to create the record of one of the entity. So this is the post operation code snippet. We will be using this one. So let's proceed in the power app portal. So here in the portal, I have configured one partial URL applications. So here, one basic form is loading. This is the create form. So this web page, this is the configuration of the web page applications. Here I have used the basic form. So this is the create in mode, the insert mode. Because of that only we have the submit button, and the web template of this one is here. So this is the web template. It has a small piece of code which is used to load the entity form, which is a basic form which is selected on the web page. This is a small configuration. Along with that, I have enabled and set up all the table permissions, which is for this entity, DNLB application entity table. So I have given the global level permissions on this entity, and I have associated the variables which I have signed in here. So all permissions is aligned. That is why I'm loading this form successfully. So for the demo purpose, what I will be doing is I will create one a small button here, something like create application, and I will take the value from these three fields and create the record of this application entity using the web API. This time we'll not use the submit button. So we might have some example in some scenario that on the click of this some button we want to create the first record, and then we will perform this update operation, something like that. So in that time we will be using the web API call for that one. So to configure the web API, we have to first enable the web API in the our entity on the table where we want to configure. So for that, we have to go to the site setting, and we have to configure the two new site setting configuration. One is we have to enable the web API on the table. We have to configure like web API slash the table name we have to give. My table name is dnlb underscore application, and then we have to enable it, and the value for the enable should be true. So value should be true. Okay, and save it. So this is one configuration which indicates this way the table dnlb underscore application is enabled for the web API. And also under this web API, what are the columns we are trying to expose, those we have to configure here. So web API under the DNLB table, DNLB and application table. So what are the fields? So we you can specify the particular field names, schema names by comma separated. Otherwise, if you want to expose all the fields of this particular entity, then we can use the asterisk word here, asterisk symbol here. So it is enabled now. So to check it, if my DNLB application entity table is configured, so we can sync the configuration here and check if it is working. So I will copy this one, and we'll try to use this API for that. So we have underscore API slash and the DNLB underscore applications. Here in the last, we have to append the letter S. So it will use the plural name of the entity. So you can see, yeah, it is loading fine. And since I don't have any record configured for the application entity, that is why the length of this array is 0 now. So which means our API has been configured successfully. Now we want to test it with some small little code. Okay, so for that, as scenario explained, so I need to add one button here. So let's go to the web template of this page. So this is the web template. So I will add one button here. It will be info type, it will be equals to the button. My mistake. ID, I will keep this as a button. Create application. Then value will be create application, and the class I will include the button, button primary. That's all. So one HTML tag is embedded here, which will create the button here. So let's check if it is added. So synchronize the configuration. Let's reload this page. Okay, so button is added here. So on click of this one, we want to perform the post operation using the web API what we have configured now. So for that, we need to create two file. One is I'll put this piece of code in the separate file, something webapi.js web file, and then this is the another file I will create. Under that, our logic will be there. So take the copy of this code, and under the Visual Studio Code, we'll create the file webapi.js and paste the code here, save it. So we'll upload this code as a web file in the portal. So here on the portal, we have web files here. Create the new record of the web file. So it will be dnlb web file, sorry, web api.js and the website, and the parent page will be the home page because I want to load this code on when the home page is loaded, because the home page will load first. So we will, on the load of this home page, I want to load my code also. So like that, I will select the parent page as home page, then partial URL, I'll keep this as a dnlb underscore web api.js, publishing a state as published, save. And under the notes, we will attach the file here. So this is the web API file, JavaScript file which we have created, and we will save it. So it is file is added. This is the partial URL of the file which we have created. So let's synchronize the configuration and check if our code has been loaded successfully. Okay, so code is loading fine, which means the file which we have created here, it has been loaded successfully. So we'll create the new file here, which will be for our application purpose. On create of this button, we want to make the post call on this web API. So for that, we will create the separate file. So it will be dnlb um, application JS, and then parent page of this also I will keep this as a home. The parcel URL dnlb underscore application dot js, publishing a state published, and save. Okay, so it is done. But here for to attach in the notes, so I need to create the one file here. So I will make this file name as application.js. Okay, under this our logic will be there. Okay, so let's write the logic first, then later on I will append the file here. Okay, so in the logic, what we have to do is we have to bind the one function on click of this button. So for that, when our document gets ready, so we have document dot ready and function. So when documents gets ready, I want to get the element of the button. So it is the ID of this button is here, button create application. So this is the ID of this button. So on click of this one, so we have on click, and then this will be create application. This is the function which we will be creating now. So function create application. Okay, inside this function, our logic will be there. Okay, so first of all, what we will do, we'll try to get the value from these fields. So the schema name of these fields is dnlb underscore name. Then this for this one, it is dnlb underscore first name. Okay, and for this one, it is dnlb underscore last name. Okay, so we will try to get the value from these fields. So for that, where name equals to underscore name dot value, where first name dot value, then where last name. Okay, so we have the value now. If you see the example in the post call, so we are passing the data here, which will be the object, which will this data will be posted on the this API to create the record. So we have to create the object of this one. So by setting the first name, last name here, so we'll create the object of this. So where create application object. So in the left side, we have to keep the logical name of the one of the field of the entity. So it will be DNLP underscore. This is the name field of, on the my application entity. So I'll take the data of this one name. Then I have the first name. The data will be first name coming from the first name field column. Then last name. So object is created. Now we can take the copy of this code and try to modify here. So under the API, from this API object, if you see when this code is loaded, it will give the under the window object, we have the one Web API object. So using this Web API, we can have the safe Ajax function, which can perform our any kind of operation if you want to do. So this is the code. I think I took the wrong one. So this is the create code. So I'll update this here create code. So under the web API object, we have safe ajax function. So we will take the type as post, URL as a API underscore, and this will be our uh, application. So DNLB underscore applications. Then content type will be same application slash JSON. Data will be the object what we have created. So it will be application create application object. So we have to stringify this particular object where we are passing the first name, last name, and the data. And once the call is successful, then we have the created record ID coming here. So it will be in the console log. So the code is simple. So Let's check if it is working. So we need to load, sorry, mistake. This should be like this. Okay. On, we need to register this one. Okay, so we need to register this code on the wave file. So I have saved it. Okay. Let's upload this file. So I'll go to the wave file here in the wave file which we have created by the name partial application, sorry, partial with the partial name as dnlb underscore application.js. So here I will attach this as a notes. Okay, done. So let's clear the cache. First, let's check if our code has been loaded. Okay, so since our code has been loaded, so on the document ready, we are having the create button. On click of this one, we are having this function, and this function will get the name, first name, last name from the fields, and then get the object of this one by using the first name, last name, and then it will make the post call on our application API. And once it is created, it will return the entity ID. So it is fine. So let's check. Um, we have to refresh this one and check if our application is being created. But before that, let's check in advanced find if we have any application record. So we don't have any record here. So I am going to make the call. So I have clicked that one. Let's check if record has been created. We need to investigate. So okay, one mistake. Why it is not working? Because we have uploaded the file, but we forgot to add these scripts on the web template. So we need to include this file on this web template, right, where it is loading. So under this web template, we need to include in this script. So first we will load the web API file. So and the partial URL of the web API was dnlb underscore web API.js. And the partial URL of this one is this. So we have included the JavaScript files here in the web template. So I think it should be fine now. So let's clear the cache. Okay, and I will reload this page. On the reload of this one, if you go to the debugger and check in the file, so we should have the application file coming here. So it was not coming, because of that we had the issue. So now it is coming file, which means our code is working. So code is loading. So let's check if it is creating the application. I have clicked. Let's check in the application here. So nothing, yeah, it has been created, but no data will be there in the fields because I have not set the value here. So I will set the value as 1 test 2, sorry, test 1, and create again. So refresh this. Yeah, it has been created with the data. So like this, you can configure the API and you can make the some useful features or some buttons. When you have some scenarios coming like that, you can use the web API calls for that. And thank you. I believe you have understood this one. Thank you for watching this video, guys.